Picture this. You're sitting in the dark, scrolling through your timeline, right? The teasers for a massive comeback have just dropped.
Oh, yeah.
But then this single rogue tweet appears, like a blatant mistranslation of a completely fleeting moment.
And the Weverse notification lights up millions of screens.
Exactly. The fandom goes dead silent. In an instant, a career that took, a decade of literal blood, sweat, and tears to build is suddenly balancing on a knife's edge, and the entire K-pop world is just turned upside down.
Welcome to StarScope K-Report.
Join Eric and Minji as they ride the Hallyu wave, uncovering the biggest K-pop comebacks, shocking industry controversies, and major K-drama updates. From internet-breaking rumors to historic chart milestones, we dive deep into the world of Korean entertainment.
So we are launching into a really massive mission for this deep dive today. We're unpacking a headline that has completely hijacked the timeline.
It is literally everywhere.
Right. And it reads, "They're angry. Why fans are turning on Mingyu."
Ugh, the drama.
Yeah, so to cut through all the noise and figure out what's actually happening behind the scenes, we've pulled a pretty heavy stack of sources. We're analyzing official Weverse agency notices, some in-depth timeline coverage from places like Pinkfilla and Koreaboo, and of course, heavily researched Reddit deep dive threads.
Right, because we have to uncover the underlying mechanics of this sudden hate train.
Exactly, the chaotic fan wars and basically the intense emotional roller coaster that is SEVENTEEN's enlistment era right now.
And honestly, if you're listening to this thinking it's just like another standard fandom squabble, brace yourself, because that is not even the wildest part of the story.
Oh, not even close.
Later on in this deep dive, we're going to uncover how a simple, single mistranslation on Twitter almost destroyed a massive career literally overnight. You absolutely do not want to miss how quickly the internet can mutate a fact.
So to understand the architecture of the current outrage, we actually need to trace the timeline back slightly to June 2025.
Right, the initial spark.
Exactly. It kind of conditioned the fandoms for conflict. So according to a timeline breakdown from Pinkfilla, BTS's V completed his military service.
Which was huge.
Yeah. And almost immediately upon discharge, he treated fans to some incredibly buff, jaw-dropping mirror selfies.
Which caused the internet to completely fracture. I mean, ARMY was in absolute shambles, and honestly, understandably so.
Oh, for sure.
Like, the post-military glow-up is a huge cultural event in K-pop. The man looked incredible.
You really did.
But the timeline gets intensely messy right here, and this is exactly where the fandoms physically collide.
Right.
Because on the exact same day, SEVENTEEN's Mingyu posts his own gym updates in a strikingly similar outfit.
Yeah, so let's lay out the factual sequence of events here. V posted a mirror selfie, flexing in a black tank top. And prior to that, he had also posted a shot in a light gray tank top.
Yeah, the classic gym fit.
Exactly. Then shortly after V's post basically dominated the algorithms, Mingyu was papped heading to an event. And subsequently, Mingyu posted his own white top gym photos to his personal feed.
And the resulting fallout was just spectacular.
Yeah.
You had ARMY and CARAT fan wars igniting across every single platform.
It was everywhere.
K-nets and international fans started hurling these vicious accusations that Mingyu was somehow, like, copying V.
Yeah.
They claimed he was intentionally trying to steal V's post-discharge spotlight.
Which is crazy.
Right. Let's take a step back and really look at this. Trying to claim ownership of a gym mirror selfie is like trying to copyright breathing.
Yeah, 100%.
It is literally the most standard, ubiquitous piece of content on social media.
Yeah, the logic of the backlash completely dissolves when you look at the historical data of Mingyu's digital footprint, honestly. I mean, he has a meticulously documented history of fitness content.
Exactly. He lives in the gym.
Right. He hasn't just suddenly started lifting weights. He's been consistently posting these exact types of gym updates for years. His physique is a highly established pillar of his public brand.
His visuals are a core part of his identity. And beyond the digital footprint, you have to look at the reality of their relationship. I mean, these two men are elite industry peers.
Yeah.
They operate in the exact same top-tier circles, they share mutual friends, and they likely laugh about this stuff behind the scenes.
Oh, they definitely do.
This entire outrage was completely manufactured by netizens who are essentially just hunting for a reason to fight.
Yeah, and I think it reveals a fascinating psychological aspect of stan culture. Like, when fandoms are experiencing high anxiety, such as anticipating their own idols' military hiatuses, they become hypervigilant.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
Yeah, they project that internal anxiety outward, basically turning something as mundane as a gym selfie into a battleground for dominance.
Wow. Well, if you love decoding the psychology behind these wild fan wars and staying updated on your favorites, make sure you're subscribed to StarScope K-Report. We've got even bigger scoops ahead. Because as absurd as that muscle gatekeeping situation was, it was truly just a pressure valve releasing before the real storm hit.
Right, so the muscle controversy eventually faded from the trending topics, but the structural damage to the fandom's peace of mind was already done. The real shockwave hit on August 9th, 2026.
Oh man, that day.
Yeah, this was the moment the landscape fundamentally shifted.
The dreaded Weverse notification. Like, if you are a fan of any K-pop group, you know the visceral reaction to seeing, "Hello, this is Pledis Entertainment."
It's terrifying.
Your heart instantly drops into your stomach because you know your daily routine is about to change.
Yeah, so Pledis Entertainment dropped the official, highly anticipated notice regarding the upcoming military service for 3 members. Mingyu is confirmed to be enlisting on September 10th for alternative or public service, which carries a 21-month commitment.
Right.
Additionally, Seungkwan and Dino will enlist together in the Army Military Band on October 26th.
Which we will definitely talk about more later.
Oh, definitely. And alongside the dates, Pledis issued a strict official request for fans not to visit the enlistment sites or Mingyu's workplace, obviously citing safety and protocol.
But the second that notice went live, the anti-fans struck with absolute venom. Like, we're looking at a piece from Koreaboo that details a massive, coordinated wave of negativity directed specifically at Mingyu.
It was intense.
And their sole justification, the fact that he is doing alternative service, the haters flooded the forums complaining that too many 17 members are avoiding active duty. They even dragged SQs into the crossfire, bringing up his military exemption.
Yeah, and the cultural context here is so vital for international listeners to grasp. In South Korea, active duty military service is heavily tied to concepts of masculinity, patriotism, and social duty.
Right, it's a huge deal.
It is. The South Korean military uses a really strict tier system. Grades 1 through 3 are cleared for active duty. Grade 4 is alternative or public service, which is usually due to a specific health condition. And Grade 5 is a complete exemption during peacetime. So, candidates often weaponize anything below Grade 3 against celebrities, basically accusing them of using their wealth or status to dodge hardship.
Which is an incredibly dangerous and honestly hypocritical narrative when you look at the physical reality of these idols.
Absolutely.
Let's just look at SQs for a second. He received a grade 5 classification because he suffered a severe ACL tear that required massive reconstructive surgery.
Right. A major injury.
Exactly. You cannot demand back-breaking, hyper-synchronized choreography, the kind we see in Super or Maestro, and then act shocked when their joints literally give out.
Yeah, the K-pop industry demands elite professional athlete levels of physical exertion. When you subject a human body to a decade of intense, repetitive strain, the causality is clear. The joints degenerate.
Exactly.
Alternative service isn't some VIP celebrity pass. It's a strictly enforced medical necessity mandated by government doctors.
Yeah, thank goodness the real CARATs instantly mobilized. Like, the fandom stepped up and flooded the platforms with the actual medical receipts.
They had all the evidence ready to go.
They really did. We are talking about a heavily documented history of severe chronic lower back pain that Mingyu has suffered from since literally 2016. This was not a minor ache or a sudden complaint.
No, not at all.
There was a major incident in late 2023 where he was in serious distress.
Yeah, the disconnect is just staggering. Netizens consume the hyper-polished art, yet they ruthlessly judge the human cost required to produce it. But, the mechanics of a hate train demand fuel.
Right. They always need something to be mad about.
Exactly. So when the haters realized their current complaints about alternative service lacked a solid foundation, basically because the medical records were undeniable, they simply pivoted. They weaponized the past.
Ugh. And if you are wondering how these controversies escalate so quickly, this part of the deep dive is where things get genuinely terrifying.
Yeah, it gets dark.
Netizens operate like digital archaeologists. They love to resurrect dead, entirely resolved rumors to inject new life into a dying hate train.
It's so true. So we analyzed this 5-year-old Reddit thread that meticulously details a massive school bullying and harassment scandal from 2021.
I remember that.
Yeah, you have to picture the environment at that time. A massive wave of bullying allegations was sweeping across the entire Korean entertainment industry, literally taking down actors and idols left and right.
Ugh, it was a witch hunt.
It really was. And Mingyu was suddenly caught in the crosshairs of this chaotic cultural moment.
It was pure panic. So let's break down exactly what these rumors were, and more importantly, what the actual truth was. Because the gap between the accusation and the reality is what makes this so chilling.
Right, so the first major allegation involved an autistic student. An anonymous poster on a Korean forum claimed that Mingyu had mocked, harassed, and bullied a disabled classmate during his school years.
Like, think about the visceral panic when a claim like that drops. Your bias is suddenly being painted as a monster.
Yeah, it's terrifying for fans.
But Pledis didn't just issue a standard generic PR denial. They went to the ground level. They actually located and contacted the student's mother.
Which is a crazy level of detail.
I know, right? And she came forward publicly and confirmed that Mingyu was definitively not a bully.
Wow.
She remembered exactly who the real perpetrators were, and Mingyu wasn't one of them. She stated that Mingyu and her son were actually on good terms, and that dragging her son into these false rumors was traumatizing for her family.
Yeah, so that specific claim was completely dismantled by the primary source. Pledis' crisis management bypassed the internet noise and went straight to the origin.
Exactly.
But the second allegation is where the mechanics of international fandom reveal their most dangerous flaw.
Yeah.
Because there was a claim of sexual harassment.
Oh my gosh, this is the part that still gives me chills. Like, if you are listening to this and thinking, wait, how does a joke between two guys turn into a global sexual assault scandal?
Right.
The answer lies in one single catastrophic mistranslation by a Twitter user who went by the handle Keoka.
Yeah. The facts of the incident, once they were properly and thoroughly investigated by the agency, were basically this. Mingyu's friend jokingly called a male classmate a girl.
Okay.
Mingyu laughed at the joke and playfully grabbed the male classmate's chest. It was just immature horseplay between schoolboys.
But this Twitter user, Cheolka, completely botched the translation of the Korean text. They told the massive global international side of the fandom that Mingyu grabbed a female's chest.
Yeah, and the velocity of misinformation in the K-pop sphere is honestly terrifying.
That's so fast.
Within minutes, that mistranslation went globally viral. It completely mutated the original event into a severe allegation of sexual assault against a female student.
Which is insane.
Right, the nuance of the Korean language, specifically regarding gender pronouns and context, was entirely lost. And the algorithm just rewarded the most sensational version of the story.
You cannot overstate the absolute chaos that gripped the fandom when this translation hit the timeline. Like, CARAT Twitter was in shambles.
I can only imagine.
Fan accounts were locking their pages, people were crying, massive accounts were demanding he leave the group immediately. A simple linguistic error almost completely ruined a man's life and his career.
It really serves as a stark reminder of how fragile a digital reputation is. However, the resolution of this crisis is honestly a masterclass in agency response.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, instead of rushing a panic denial to appease the trending topics, Pledis took their time. They interviewed witnesses from both sides of the incident, they spoke to the alleged perpetrators, and they left no stone unturned before issuing a final verdict.
Yeah, and all the witnesses denied the physical abuse claims. And as for Mingyu, his accountability was just incredible.
It was.
He released a final statement admitting that, yes, he laughed at inappropriate jokes in class as a kid. He didn't remember mistreating anyone, but he apologized sincerely if his unintended actions ever caused anyone distress. He owned up to the reality that even without malicious intent, you can still hurt someone.
Yeah.
It was such a mature human response.
Thorough investigation, complete transparency, and genuine accountability. That is exactly how you survive a scandal of that magnitude.
Definitely.
And if you want to make sure you never miss a deep dive into how these KT updates actually unfold, hit that subscribe button. We do the heavy research so you can understand the mechanics behind the headlines.
Navigating these fandom waters requires a map and a compass, and that is exactly our mission here.
Yeah, and the fascinating part is that despite these organized hate trains, despite the netizens digging up old graves, and despite the dark clouds of the military hiatus looming over them, 17 is not slowing down.
Not at all.
In fact, their current business strategy looks completely bulletproof.
Right. Having 13 members was often viewed as a logistical nightmare in the early days of K-pop, but it actually provides this really unique economic advantage during the enlistment era if it's executed correctly.
Exactly. So let's break down the timeline of this master plan. Jongin has already completed his service and returned to the industry as of June 2026.
Right.
Wonwoo is scheduled to return in January 2027. We know DK is enlisting on September 8 and Vernon on August 20.
Plus, you have the absolute powerhouse that is the foreign line, Joshua, June, and The8.
Oh yeah, they're crucial.
Because of their citizenship, they are entirely exempt from the South Korean draft.
Yeah.
So they're going to be crucial pillars in keeping the group's presence active. They can handle subunits, massive solo activities, and really keep the brand visible globally.
Right. And following that, we have the upcoming enlistments we discussed earlier, Mingyu in September and Seungkwan and Dino in October.
Okay, I have to pause for the emotional silver lining here.
Go, please do.
Because the fandom is literally weeping over Buchan, Seungkwan, and Dino enlisting on the exact same day. Dino actually mentioned on a variety show recently that he wanted Seungkwan to visit him when he enlisted.
Wait, really?
Yes! Well, plot twist. Not only is he visiting, they are enlisting in the exact same military band.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
They will literally be stuck together for their entire 22-month service. Like, think about the hilarious stories of their love-hate dynamic we're going to get when they finally discharge.
It is brilliant for maintaining morale, honestly, both internally for the members and externally for the fans. But, the commercial strategy is where this gets truly impressive.
Okay, yeah.
So a piece from Rolling Stone India outlined SEVENTEEN's Happy Birthday album strategy. This was positioned as their last major release before the mass enlistments began in earnest.
Oh, it was a genius move. The album wasn't just like a standard group comeback. It was heavily packed with solo tracks to really spotlight their individual colors.
Right.
It basically built the foundation for all these subunits and solo debuts to thrive while the full group is technically on pause.
Exactly. Because the economics of a military hiatus used to mean a 5 to 7 year drought of revenue and relevance for a K-pop group.
Yeah, a literal drought.
But the Happy Birthday strategy is a totally calculated move to transition the fandom's consumption habits. By shifting focus from full group promotions to individual support, they maintain the revenue streams and keep the Hallyu wave momentum just surging forward.
Right.
And the ultimate goal of all this, staggering. A massive, historic, full group reunion, perfectly timed for their 13th anniversary in the summer of 2028.
Summer of 2028 seems so far away when you look at a calendar, but knowing there is a definitive finish line makes the hiatus so much more bearable,
Yeah, for sure.
Is 17's staggered enlistment the new ultimate blueprint for massive K-pop groups? Like, they are proving you can survive the military hiatus, overlap the enlistments, maintain a constant stream of content, and not lose a single drop of your cultural momentum.
They really are entirely redefining what a military hiatus means in the modern K-pop era. I mean, it requires immaculate planning, flawless execution, and honestly, the sheer unyielding dedication of the fan base to sustain it.
Absolutely.
Which kind of circles us directly back to the events that triggered this entire deep dive today.
Yeah. When you lay all the pieces out on the table, the intense gatekeeping of gym selfies, the manufactured outrage over alternative service, the weaponization of a mistranslated rumor from half a decade ago, it leaves you with a really chilling question to ponder.
It does.
As global fandoms become more organized, hyper-connected, and algorithmically driven, will these targeted hate trains become more dangerous, capable of ending careers over a single misunderstanding?
Right.
Or will the protective power of fandoms like CARAT's instantly providing medical receipts for Mingyu's back and basically mobilizing to debunk that awful mistranslation, will that protective shield eventually render anti-fans completely powerless?
That is the question. You've been listening to StarScope K-Report, where Eric and Minji bring you the stories shaping K-pop, K-dramas, and the global Hallyu wave. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.